pupils of Sambonjida DA Basic School, having a teacher is a privilege.
This man here.
2 trained teachers shoulder the responsibility of educating pupils from kindergarten to basic 6. Volunteers like Thomas, a senior high school graduate, step in to assist, but the results are troubling.
So I'm coming here to teaching ABCD, to describe yourself, to the 1, 2, 3, 2. So that's why that I'm coming to be teaching for my children. ABC. Oh, sorry. Let me check. A, B, C, D.
Thomas tries his best,
F,
but his grasp of the English language and teaching methodology raises concerns.
K, M.
In one instance, the alphabet L was missing from the blackboard. Worse still, pupils are thought to pronounce M and N the same way, and these children repeat these errors with confidence.
H, I, J, K, M.
This is heartbreaking. These children are set up to fail before they even begin. I could not stand by and watch the blunder persist, so I intervened.
There's an alphabet missing. What's it?
H, I, J, K, M.
L. Where's L? L is not there. So write the L there. Write the L. Okay, so this how to write the L. L is written this way.
The situation grows grimmer.
Yeah, you get it.
I get it.
The school has only 3 classrooms, forcing 2 different classes to share a single space. Teachers struggle to maintain focus and discipline while handling multiple levels at once.
We are a lot of teachers. The whole school from KG1 to P6, we are only 2 teachers. Imagine, if you can bear with me, the KG2 to P6, 2 teachers taking from KG2 to P6 is a burden to the teachers. We have KG1 to P6. And when you look at the structure, standing there is 2 classes in 1, which is very difficult for a teacher to be inside 1 class with 2 classes combined, teaching.
For pupils in kindergarten, their classroom is nothing more than a fenced area with blocks intended for construction now serving as furniture. These blocks were donated 5 years ago during the height of campaigning, but they were never used as promised.
The little furniture there, they all like to sit on it. It will be a problem. They'll be there fighting, beating each other. Then if I didn't go there and arrange the blocks, I will arrange the blocks for them to those who didn't get a sitting place to sit down. Then I put some blocks inside the classroom for them to sit down. Then have a learning successfully.
Okay.
The campaign time, the last election campaign time, that he came and molded the blocks there that he want to build a classroom for the community or for the school. Then after winning, he didn't come back again. So it's the MP who molded the blocks down and it's still lying down. I decided with my staff that now I even called the PTA meeting. Then we talk. I informed the office, the CISO. Then they said, in case the blocks are lying down, spoiling, and they are not doing anything, we can use it to what? To make a runner pit. Or as we are saying, the KG is not having a sitting place, we can use it to fence around so that they can be sitting inside. So we use some of the blocks to fence the KG that will make the hut for them to be inside.
The lack of support does not end there. The school is not part of the school feeding program, forcing pupils to walk home for meals. Many do not return, further disrupting the education.
Our school feeding, we have written a letter. I've come to the head teacher. We have written a letter a lot to the district director, but no help, no voice coming out for us to help.
The community is trying to keep the school afloat. Parents pay volunteers like Thomas in kind, working on their farm as laborers.
They said they will sit down and decide. Either they will do contribution, they will contribute and pay them, or they will be helping them in their farms, the volunteers.
Some of our children who are far away and they have completed, they are here, and we beg them so that when they help the head teacher to teach for some periods, when then we, the parents, we help them in our farm so that we go and clear some land, we just raise some young men. This is what we used to help those who volunteer to help us.
The head teacher and community leaders are calling on the government to act. They want more teachers, adequate classrooms, and inclusion in the school feeding program.
A teacher is to teach somebody to also become somebody in future. Yes. So if I'm here to teach the children to become somebody more than me in future, and there's no place for me or for the children to learn and also become somebody in future, then how will I be happy? So that made me sad whenever I come here to teach.
Our people in Sabungira are crying. Whatever is here, we are looking for the government to come to our aid so that they will help us, so that our children will also get shade and sit and remove from the sitting under the tree, sitting under the shade, so that it will motivate some of our children so that they will also learn and go and be somebody in future. We are crying, government, come and into our aid.
Be fair to us. I say again, be fair to us.
Be fair to us, Sabungira people. Be fair to us, government. Be fair to us.
Basic education is the foundation of every child's future. But in Sambonjida, that foundation is crumbling. For these children, the dream of a brighter tomorrow seems distant. It is a call to action for policymakers to prioritize schools like this before it's too late. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, Tatale Sangoli, Northern Region.
This my hand.
Newsflash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fear.
Hi there, welcome back here on Prime On, and it's time for us to get into News Flash. And that video you saw over there is one of our conversations here on the show today. So we wanted to give you a fair idea of what we'll be talking about. Education sector, I want to put our attention to this morning here on News Flash. A big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise, still phones Papa Pafie, and we're treating you once again to go for their gadgets. Now, we're talking about television screens, we're talking about CCTV cameras, we're talking about phones and phones. We have iPhone, we have Samsung, we have Nokia. You can purchase any of that. Once you make your way to any of our branches, we've got quality that we're selling. Please do call us for inquiries. Pick the number on your screens and call us on that. And once again, do not pick any number on social media to talk to us. You can pick the numbers you see on your screens. Better yet, you can also download the app. It's the Franco Trading app and its Google Play Store. Our website is www.francotrading.com, and you can also get all the info that you need over there in terms of our branches. If you're looking for our prices and all of that, you can just go to our website or download the app and you'll be good to go. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones Papa Fie, and we're grateful to them this morning. Kindest courtesy, Franco. We've got news flash here on the show. Do not forget that you're part of this conversation. Send your messages to us. Our WhatsApp line is active. You can also go on Facebook. We're streaming live on Facebook, so you can put your messages there, your contributions, real time. I'll have time to read all of them. So we're looking at our education sector. Now, don't forget that there has been the National Reform Committee that have been also going around and getting information. Now, as it stands now, they've got about 1,500 suggestions from individuals, and they all speak about some reforms, and including the feeding, with free SHS and also the reform of free SHS. A total look at it. We're going to be also looking at that situation over here. You saw the video that we played earlier, and this is right here in Ghana. Northern Ghana is what we're talking about. And if you look at the condition of these kids and who is even impacting the knowledge on them, you want to be asking a lot of questions. So we're standing and we actually want to be able to understand, indeed, if this is where we want to be going as a nation. You can also share your thought with us here on the show. My guests are already seated. We're going to be looking at the front pages of the newspapers, and also we're going to take a look at the OSP, who was declared the former finance minister not wanted and a fugitive pending his appearance to the office of the OSP, and we'll be looking at that issue also here on the show. But let me introduce my guest in the studio this morning. Awal Mohammed has joined us here on the show. He is a member of the NPP communications team. Awal Mohammed, good morning. How are you doing, bro?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, well and good.
Yes.
Are you going to Mecca?
I decided I'll go this year, but I have not really.
We have reduced the prices, so.
Yes,
I'm sure not
Yes. You see, the last time when I came here, I commended the government for walking the talk. They said they wanted to reduce it.
Yeah.
And when you check the sub-region, we're paying the lowest.
Yeah.
Burkina is doing 76,000. Nigeria is doing between 75 and 78,000. Togo is doing the same. So if Ghana is doing 62,000, it means really it's much. But we want to know the components. We want to know who is absorbing what. Is it that the government is absorbing? If government is absorbing, it's wrong. But if indeed they are cutting down on their expenses and they are able to really get this amount of money. We're in a process of at least accessing information from the committee, yes.
Oh, okay.
We've written officially, we're yet to submit to them. I have written
to them?
Yes, I'm yet to submit to them through the right to information so that I can get the right information, how they are able to do it, so that it can guide us. In 2028, when we come, we should be able to assist those who will be
based on what has been left.
Yes, who will be given the nod
in the blueprint
to lead. But you see, there is one thing that before you get to my brother, yesterday I watched the GJA president. Yes,
Mr. Abedjo.
He was just expressing his frustrations and exasperations about how journalists is treated in this country, especially within the last 40-something days when President Mahama became president. According to him, 7 journalists were assaulted within this short period. And he says this is unprecedented in the history of this country. Looking at where we have gotten to as a country, if within 40-something days, journalists are assaulted, 7 of them are assaulted. In the next 4 years, what will happen to us? Again, look at the radio stations that have been closed down. For the first time, a minister directing NCA to close down 7 pro-NPP radio stations. So you see, if the freedom to information if the index
cited reasons why those stations.
You see, you don't do that. It's within the remits of the NCA to be able to do that work. They have a board. They will sit down. They have a seat.
But he's in charge of communications. If he feels that any radio station is going against the policies or they are not.
So you have the minister directing all agencies under him to do something when even though the board has not been constituted. But you see, what is the agency in it that the CEO cannot just You cannot communicate to him so that he can just do that. So these are things that by next year, if you see the press freedom index, if you're not careful, will drop to like 5 or 6 in Africa. Even though we've been around first and second, that this is the country that gives the journalists the freedom to operate. 7 of them have been assaulted within the last 42 or 43 days. It's worrying.
Okay. Dr. Sammy Ayeh is here with us as government spokesperson for the NDC. Doc, thank you so much for the time. Grateful.
I'm happy to be here. Good morning to our viewers, and good morning to yourself and my co-panelist, Mr. Awal. I'm happy to be here this morning. The last time I was here was a few days to the election. I think exactly the day Donald Trump won the election as the President of the United States. And I threw a challenge to your crew that the next time I'll be here, His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama will be the President of the Republic of Ghana.
Exactly.
Indeed,
So.
God has spoken. God has spoken clearly. He had a resounding victory, and I am extremely happy about it. For me, let me start from where my brother Awal landed. I don't think that it is regrettable that some people, some media, respected media persons have been assaulted. But I think that Awal must let us know exactly which people assaulted them, because as far as I'm concerned, nobody from the NDC ranks or government has assaulted any journalist. In fact, His Excellency the President has made it clear that he will not tolerate insubordination, he will not tolerate disrespect to any member of the Ghanaian society. And when you are found to be engaging in that, immediately you will be removed from wherever you find yourself. So we are bound by this order from His Excellency the President. I will be happy if my brother Awal gives us further information on the matter so that we can take it from there. I suspect that it may be one of those over-exuberant young people who were unable to control themselves after the NDC, after there was a change in government, who may not necessarily be associated or be members of the NDC, but one or the other may have taken the laws into their own hands. It is regrettable, and I am deeply sorry about it. I'm apologizing on behalf of government that the said journalists who have been assaulted will forgive us and will take steps to avert the matter. Thank you.
Very well, thank you very much. I'm going to read the front page of the newspapers quickly, and then we'll look at our very first story, which is the education sector. Now, this one over here is Daily Graphic, and it says, at National Education Forum launch, President outlines areas for reforms, and President Mahama declares assets, and has also instructed the ministers to also do same. Now, failure to do so will come with sanctions, which includes dismissal. And so in the coming weeks, would be seeing most of the ministers, or maybe all of them, actually also declare their asset. Now, OSP removes former finance minister from wanted list, and the Council of State takes office. Doa Jaho as chairman. Honoring coupons good for investor confidence, economist says so. And that's Daily Graphic today. Ghanaian Times says that declare assets by March 31 or face sanctions. President gives ultimatum to appointees. And the cholera outbreak, 719 cases confirmed, 49 deaths recorded. And President opens National Education Forum in Ho, apologizes to JCBC, CCG for delayed invitation. And Interior Minister commends police for high standard of professionalism. That's also captured on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Now, the back page says NPA to deploy automated dispensers to implement 24-hour economy, and government will complete abandoned housing projects nationwide. Minister says so. That's the Ghanaian Times today. The Accra Times says that fighting meningitis in Upper West, the Speaker Bagan donates 300,000 Ghana cedis medical supplies, and Mahama excites bondholders, no more picketing, no more debts, as he pays over 6 billion Ghana cedis to DDEP bondholders. Away from that, Akando storms Upper West to assess meningitis situation, and that's the Minister of Health. And away from that, Value Jura NDC chairman is hot. That's also captured on the front page of the Accra Times. Our State salutes Mahama on appointment of Johnson Esiama as BOG government and governor, and NPA boss in action as he hits ground running towards fuel installations. Eden Agbana cries of unbearable rent situation in Ghana, and Valentine Chocolate Week, a unique opportunity to show love female MPs, says so. And Mida welcomes new acting CEO Alex Mould with focus on government's growth agenda. Allow SHS students to use mobile phones. Page 6 has got a story on that. The Accra Times is reporting on that. Now, the Ghanaian publisher says 2 former NSA directors deny allegations on ghost names, and that's page 3 has got the story on that. CDM slams government energy sector management, warns of doomsaw, and Kenneth Furiata returns in May. OSB removes him from wanted list, and new Meda boss Alex Mould begins work. That's the Ghanaian publisher this morning. And the last one will be the Ghana Feed, and it says former NSA officials refute allegations in Fourth Estate investigation, and NPA to deploy automated dispensers to implement 24-hour economy. The big story over here says Mahama apologizes to Christian leaders over Education Forum invitation delay, and Kotoko to get new AstroTurf as Blaze Investments start construction at Adako Jachi, and the Northeast Regional Minister congratulates Saka Agbuja on his election into Council of State membership. All right, so that's the front pages of the various newspapers that we have today here on Newsflash. Now, let's get into the major conversations. We're looking at education reforms, the crisis, the fate of teachers in Ghana. And earlier, you saw a video of Northern Ghana and what has been going on with 2 teachers that are teaching almost about 6 or more different classes, and these teachers are not even qualified enough to be doing the job they are doing. And the question everybody's asking is, what's the future of education? Now, the president, don't forget, has actually put together a committee that would ensure that the whole education sector is taking a look at. As it stands right now, suggestions that have been received are over 1,500, and we're hoping that these suggestions will be put into, all the whatever that is necessary for us to be able to move forward in terms of the engagements that will come out of these suggestions that have been sent. Who had a 10, and so we're hoping that we'll be able to move past what we are seeing right now. But where do we go from here? And I'll start off with you, Doc.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the most important things that a lot of people are paying attention to. In fact, when the minister was appointed, many people said that he has a lot of work to do. Looking at where we have come from in terms of free SHS, the feeding situation and all of that. Now we have situations like these still happening at different places. And like we mentioned over here before we even began our conversation, that it's not just Northern Ghana.
No.
There are many other places that are also suffering the same fate. What do we do? Where do we go from here?
Yes, thank you very much. I think that I'll first of all commend His Excellency the President for this move. You know, as part of our 120-day social contract, the President actually put this promise on number 9 out of the 26 interventions that he has promised the people of Ghana to deliver. As we speak, he has delivered on 7 out of 26, which includes the National Education Forum. He must be commended for that. It is extremely, extremely important. But you see, you mentioned that 1,500 suggestions have been made. Only in whole yesterday. Yeah. It points to one thing, that the people of Ghana are desperately in need for educational reforms. All across the various levels of our education, from preschool to basic school to secondary school and to tertiary. The whole education sector has been overrun and overwhelmed by massive, massive problems, which need urgent attention. Look, when you go to the education sector, there are serious infrastructure deficits. At the last reckoning, we were in a deficit of about 1 million desks for school students. When the Professor Mills administration began, we went on a massive program to remove many schools under trees. We removed about 2,000 schools under trees. Unfortunately, today we are back to the era of schools under trees because not enough capital investments were made in the education sector to avert the situation. We have been also inundated with erratic academic calendar changes. Students go to school for 2 months or 1 month, will be in the house for 3 or 2 months. Very unfortunate. We have serious feeding difficulties. There has not been a 3 or 4 months interval where you will not see school feeding caterers picketing in front of either the Ministry of Finance or regional ministries. You know that. In fact, when in the immediate aftermath of President Mohammed swearing in, there were food shortages in various secondary schools. President Mohammed had to disburse 200 million Ghana cedis to Ghana Education Service to give it to various education, district assemblies, just like he promised to decentralize feeding in various districts. We saw a situation where secondary school students actually made a video thanking President Mohammed that they thought that he would cancel free SHS. Fortunately for them, he has actually come to make free SHS better. You have seen the videos on TikTok and WhatsApp and Twitter and other social media handles. We also have difficulties with textbooks. In fact, when there was a change in curricula, for about 4 years, textbooks were not provided. Before we left power, we had a situation of one student having 3 textbooks. Before we came right now, only a month ago, you had a situation where 4 students were sharing 1 textbook. That was how bad the situation is. We had difficulties with capitation grants payment for about 6 terms. Capitation grants were not paid. We have hostile industrial and government relationship where whether it is CTAC, UTAC, National Association of the NAT or NAGRA.
The constant strikes.
Always back and forth with government on strikes. There was a time CTAC was on strike for about 2 months and nobody was even minding them. When you go to a secondary school alone, we have double track. Tertiary institutions, students are having to pay 10,000, 20,000 cedis for accommodation. And so there are major problems in the education sector. That's why I want to commend His Excellency the President. We in the NDC do not believe that we are an encyclopedia. We are the repository of every knowledge in the education sector. We believe that we have technocrats, we have professors, lecturers, seasoned educationists, civil society organizations, and even students who may have one or two suggestions to improve our education. In fact, before we came into power, we had earmarked very far-reaching reforms as far as education sector is concerned. You know that most of the problems that I have outlined have associations with funding.
Yeah.
We have made it a point that we will uncap GET Fund. The last time you heard the education minister that GET Fund had been capped. A source of funding that ordinarily would have raked in about 7 billion, because it has been capped, is raking in about 3 billion. Can you imagine what 4 billion Ghana cedis can do for our education sector? We have said that we'll uncap GET Fund and we'll make sure that we get enough money to avert the situation we find ourselves in. President Mama has also made the point that as we speak, there is no dedicated funding for free SHS, just like he did for ESLA, just like he created ESLA to rake in money to avert difficulties in our education sector. President Mama is going to set up a fund for free SHS so that we can avert the difficulties that we have. You know that we currently have a situation of double track. Yeah. We are feeding difficulties. President Mama will create the fund so that we can have enough money to, as a matter of fact, embark on an emergency program to complete all E-blocks that we couldn't complete, to also build a number of dormitory blocks and classroom blocks in many of our secondary schools to deal with that issue. You know that when we came in 2009, we could have done double track. Why didn't Professor Mills do a double track? Because in a matter of 6 months, the government embarked on an accelerated program of, building structures. That was when we had 3rd years and 4th years. The secondary school system was changed to 4 years instead of the 3 years. Yeah. Why didn't you do a double track? Because there was a significant increase in the number of enrollment. We embarked on a program and did it in a way that we, reversed the problem of a double track. So for me, the government is committed, and going forward, you will see, a lot of reforms in our...
Is the limited in terms of years not a problem? We've got 4 years to do all these things you're mentioning.
President Mahama, you can look from 2013 to 2016. Look at the things President Mahama did. It is clear. When you go to the aviation sector, it's clear. The health sector is clear. The NPP has been in power for 8 years. They cannot tell us 3 hospitals that they have built. President Mahama can point to quaternary hospitals, 4-tier hospitals, regional hospitals, airport terminals, the MP Airport in Tema. The NPP has no record to match that. We built universities. We converted polytechnics to universities. We built University of Health and Allied Sciences, University of Environment and Sustainable Development, and what have you. The NDC government has shown that you do not need 8 years to do all this. Somebody's 4 years can extremely be better than somebody's 8 years. We know when we were in power, under the NDC, we increased water production to about 102.7 million gallons. The NPP can never match that. We increase electricity coverage. The NPP can never match that. So for me, 4 years is enough for His Excellency the President to solve and remove the major bottlenecks to put the country on the path of development and prosperity, just like he promised the people of Ghana. And we are extremely committed to it.
Okay, very well, Doc. Thank you. Let me go to Awal. Your take on that. It says 4 years as compared to 8 years is way better than what you guys have been able to do. And so it gives them that opportunity to do it once again, change the face of our education system.
Well, I think you should remind Dr. Ayeh that they are in government and not in opposition to be at least spewing lies on live TV. He just said that capitation grant has been in arrears for 6 terms, and this is a palpable lie. When you check the finance minister's press briefing in Parliament in July 2024 for the mid-year review, the amount of money they disbursed, this is captured in the budget review. The amount of money they disbursed was 38 million cedis to cover capitation grant. So how did we go for 6 terms? 6 terms is 2 years. That is what he's talking about. Terms are 3 terms makes 1 year. So 2 academic years capitation grant hasn't been paid. Haba, you should credit your viewers with some kind of knowledge, at least. That is 1. 2 is that in terms of infrastructural development in health and education, there is no government in the Fourth Republic that can match Akufo-Addo's government. He said we have now constructed 3 hospitals. I will point to hospitals in President Mahamad's region, Savannah. We've constructed 60-bed hospital at Sola, 60-bed hospital at Wipe, and the Boli Bamboy Polyclinic was done under Akufo-Addo.
These were all started right from the scratch?
Exactly.
Or there were hospitals waiting for completion.
I am telling you that these are hospitals that started. Completed. We have done over 35 hospitals. I will just line every hospital here up for you. 35 I can just give you. But because it's on education, let's just still go back.
Yeah, I don't want us to drift.
Because on the health, I can mention over 35 hospitals that was started from scratch, not Agenda 111. Not Agenda 111. In the Volta region, when you go to Qatar, there is a community called Quetta. There is a hospital there that was completed in 2022.
And we did the same for education?
On education. There is no government that has committed enough resources to education than this government. When you check their manifesto, they said they will uncap Get Fund, right?
Get Fund, yeah.
He even mentioned it.
He mentioned, yeah.
Why did we do that? We went for a loan to complete over 2,000 projects in basic and senior high schools across the country. We went for $1.5 billion loan. We capped Get Fund and we collateralized.
And this was school buildings?
School buildings. We collateralized.
And they've all been completed.
I'm saying that we collateralized Get Fund and went and did this. So today, I am yet to see communities that he would tell me that we have not really constructed both basic and even senior high school. STEM schools, we have completed 11. STEM. One STEM school is bigger than 4 E-blocks. One STEM school is bigger than 4 E-blocks. You can go to Weja here. There's one here at Weja. That has been completed. Junior high school, we have revolutionized primary and junior high school to the extent if you go to East Legon here, there is no school in Accra that is more beautiful than that school there. Public school, East Legon behind Arayan. It is even more beautiful than Arayan. These are STEM basic schools, primary school. We've done 50. If you go to Jabin, there is one there. There's one at East Legon here. There's one at Jache Pramso. 50 of them. Again, the capitation grant.
They said they're going to uncap it.
When we came,
because
when we came, it was even 5 cities in 2016. We moved it to 15 cities. It was 5 cities in 2016 when they left it. We moved it to 15 cities, 2 folds or 3 folds. And that was what we did with capitation grant and so on. So in terms of education, in terms of deliverables, there's no government that can match this government. Even the free senior high school alone. It's enough investment.
Yeah, but it came with a couple of issues that
it
needed a critical
with
look.
Everything, over 3 million people benefited from it. Is there any government in the history of this country that has invested much in education than Akufo-Addo's government? Is there any government like that? So that is one. 2 is that this education forum, it's a charade. We don't expect anything better coming from this forum.
Really?
Yes, the reason is that Catholics have more schools than almost all the mission schools. You're going to discuss education in this country. You did not invite Christian Council. You did not invite Catholic bishops.
The president apologized for that.
Why do you apologize? These are stakeholders. You said from onset in your manifesto, you said you will invite stakeholders, including students, proprietors, and so on, and ordinary Ghanaians. And those with the highest number of schools in this country, you did not invite them and you tell me it's oversight. No. The Catholic bishops will go there and tell them what will go contrary to what they have written in their manifesto. So definitely...
That's the reason why they didn't invite them.
That is the reason. Why did they... I have a school.
But there were others who were also...
You are inviting political parties. When you say you're doing a forum and you're inviting political parties, and you omit NPP. They are in opposition, you just omit them. What have you done? Because you don't want them to come there. Why do you...
So the Catholic would have gone
I am
to
telling you,
what
the Catholics had voices from even 80s. You remember the Catholic Standard? At a point in time under Rollins, their officer Sotum was shit-bombed because they would tell you the truth. They were part of those who ushered us into this democracy. In the 80s, they had Catholic Standard as a newspaper that they come out with their opinion.
But what truth were they going to tell the president that he was so scared of that he didn't invite them?
But you see, you mentioned that in your manifesto, you dedicated a whole chapter for education. Now, you said you wanted to do free academic facility user fee. You do you implement better free senior high school. You abolish the double track and so on. They will tell you the realities on the grounds because they are managers of schools.
So they are against all of these?
They are not against. But they will tell you that there are certain things that are not feasible. You will crash the education of this country if you don't really put into some measures into place. You said within the next 120 days, you will abolish the double track. How do you accommodate other children in school? We introduced double track because we had huge numbers that the schools cannot accommodate them. But you're saying that within 120 days, you will abolish it. How do you do that? Ghanaians are waiting. That's why we're saying that if you have a manifesto, you don't need a committee to tell you what to do. From onset, for 8 years in opposition, you sat down to look at the education of this country, and you've seen that this is the better way to go, especially you becoming the former president before. So it would have been easier for you to start. I had wished that these committees come after the first quarter. So that why
come and assess what has been done.
Exactly, so that at least they can help you. You will start the implementation of what you have started. You said you will do free tertiary for people living with disability. You do free academic facility user fee for almost every tertiary student. You said you will abolish the double track. You will construct STEM and vocational schools in Zongos. It's in the manifesto. They said they will do that. You said you will build schools for teachers. You said you will post teachers. You will pay 20% extra to teachers who will accept postings in rural areas like Sabonjida. That's a very good initiative. But you see, these are things that you have lined up. So today, assuming the consensus from who comes and says that let people in senior high school pay some of the monies, what will you do?
But that's the reason why they're putting these committees together, so they can assess some of these things that you are, suggestions that you are.
But you were saying, when they come, they will abolish the free senior high school. They said no, they won't. When we mentioned that they will come and cancel it because their review means cancel, they said no, they will not do that. It will remain as it is. So today, when you went to Ho, and the people in Ho, the general consensus in Ho is that people in category A schools must pay. What will you do? You've changed it from its original, how Ghanaians have been able to really enjoy it for the last 8 years.
Is it not to also make it more impactful? Because, for example, if I can pay, or if another person can pay and they are paying, it means that other funds that are supposed to go to those people will be given to other people to also have access.
But primary school and JS,
it doesn't mean you're totally changing.
I'm saying that
the
primary
whole
school,
face of free education.
where the numbers are, is primary and junior high school. It's free. It's only commitment. That's all. It's only if government is committed to pay, the government who should be able to pay. How much is it to the GDP? Look at the amount.
So if an assessment, if an assessment of maybe, for example, 90% of the people in this country says that, you know what, we think that the free SHS is a good thing, but some of us can afford. So the 90% of people, we are saying that let's make it.
How do we get the 90%? The people in who are not even up to.
No, I'm just saying, for example, because of the argument you're making, I'm just saying that, for example, it doesn't mean that they're entirely abolishing the free SHS.
Before, you see, it's not abolishing. They will not abolish it, but they will put in impediments that a lot of people will not be able to access it. For instance, yesterday I heard the education minister say they will introduce PTA.
PTA is no more.
It is there. I was at Asakwari Amas. For my junior sister, our last born is at Asakwari Amas Girls Senior.
Some schools don't have it.
Last time I went for PTA meeting.
It's on record. It's on record that some schools don't have the PTA that we know.
PTA has not been abolished. What was abolished is the dues. Government absorbed the dues. But PTA has not been abolished. It is Parents Association. The parents.
So it means that the teachers are not involved anymore.
You see, now the reason initially it was Parents and Teachers Association.
Exactly.
With the Parents and Teachers Association, if you don't pay the dues, you will not be allowed to write exams. Or in senior high school. PTA dues, you will not be able to write exams. They will sack you. They will have to tell you to go home and bring that money. Again, even if you are left in school, your results will not be given to you because you have arrears of PTA dues that you're supposed to pay, that you didn't pay. So now, the moment you introduce such a thing, and you introduce dues to be paid, it means the teachers will enforce the payment of the dues. Now, in the schools where you have Parents Association, if the students default in paying, because it's voluntary, if the students will default in paying, no one will enforce it.
The teachers will not be there to enforce it.
Exactly, no one will enforce it because, you see, it's supposed to be voluntary. Because it's parents coming together to say that, well, we want to construct dormitory. But some parents will not be able to afford, they leave it.
But over the years, has it not been impactful that you have a PTA that where teachers, parents sit and they are able to make certain improvements in terms of
very impactful.
School,
but the challenges,
buildings, and all of these things.
The challenges that made government to absorb it has to do with the fact that a lot of students were denied entry into classrooms because they have not paid PTS dues. That's why we didn't abolish the Parents Association. We said there will be a Parents Association. So the dues, because the teachers came in to really enforce and take the monies for the parents for them to construct their hostels.
Which were very purposeful.
Very purposeful. Even today, they do. When you go to some schools and so on, the parents will come together and say, we want to go and construct this. So those who can afford will pay. Those who cannot afford will not pay. But unfortunately, when you add the teachers, they will be there to enforce it. And we'll go back to square one, where in 2016, 2015, when you refuse to pay PTA dues, you are being prevented from entering classroom. So that is why I'm saying that gradually they will put in some impediments that the poor woman in Sabunjida will not be able to access free senior high school because there are some amounts of monies to be paid. Free means free, as we did, as Akufo-Addo implemented it for 8 years. Free was free. Everyone went to school for free. These students were eating for free.
Doc,
they were given uniforms for free.
Okay, I'll come back to you again. Doc, is that what the NDC seeks to do with free SHS?
Don't worry. Our manifesto was there, and I won't waste time to go to some. But before that, how to expose Awal for some of the claims that he has made. I said on this platform that they cannot mention to us 3 hospitals that they built from scratch. Look,
I mentioned a few from even Savannah.
Oh, please. That's why I'm saying that the 4 years of NPP in opposition will be a very long ride for them. Do you know why? Because we will continue to expose them. I have in my hand a publication from My Joy Online. And I'm reading to you. He said, President John Dramani Mahama has cut off for construction of 5 new ultra-modern district hospitals in Ghana. The saw cutting ceremony took place yesterday at Weta, where he mentioned, in Ketu North District of the Volta region. Please. 1st January 2017. The sword curtain signified the start.
1st January.
Please.
2017.
Please. When you're talking about fight, please keep quiet.
Let him finish because we're not going to dwell on this.
Yes.
So
the sword curtain signified the start of work on 4 other projects. The president told the chiefs and people of Weta that funding has already been secured for these 5 projects. Parliament has already approved the financing for this hospital project, and the contractors are now ready to work. The chiefs and people of Weta and surrounding areas in Ketu district can now begin a countdown towards an ultramodern hospital. He added that this is one of only the 5 hospitals. The other 4, are you listening?
I'm reading.
The other 4 are being constructed in so many, Bupe, where you mentioned. You heard me mention Bupe?
Yes, I mentioned Bupe.
So funding for these hospitals were secured under John Dramani Mahama. Sword cutting started under John Dramani Mahama. So when I tell you that the NPP cannot lay claim to 3 hospitals they built from scratch, I tell you that this is the fact.
Hold on. So they built it, but the funding already.
Please.
I asked that if you built from scratch.
So when you were talking, I was quiet. I can do same.
No, don't worry.
Let me tell you. When you see, the major problem in construction is funding. When NPP came to power, all they had to do was to do nothing. The money was already sitting in the bank. Who cannot build a structure when there's money? So they have not done any work. Again, I want to expose him on the capitation. Look, there was a document published
let's move on.
There was a document published by 10 CSOs, which includes EduWatch, Action Aid, World Vision, Comfort, and what have you, where they catalogued that capitation grant had been in arrears for 2 years, which is 6 times, which is a fact that they in the NPP cannot discount. So please. He says that the NDC did not invite the Calix.
There was a fear that
they will come and tell us what is not in our manifesto. Yeah. You mentioned to me that somebody made a suggestion that secondary school students should be made to use phone. Was that in our manifesto? Was that it wasn't enough, but that suggestion came. So they claim that
suggestions like these,
are
that's what he's scared hold on. They may.
I'm saying that if the NDC is not willing to listen to others, we will not convene this meeting. Did they convene that meeting when they were in power? The fact is that the NDC is a listening government that believes that God has actually blessed people with so much wisdom that they can support government. Government is not a repository of all knowledge. We listen and we do. There are so many of these meetings that government is going to do, just like the president has said. But the fundamental point must be made that John Dramani Mahama and the commitment he made to review secondary education in Ghana is already at work, because he made mention of the fact that he will create a fund to sponsor free SHS. Didn't he make that promise? He said that he will decentralize feeding in secondary schools. Has he not delivered on that? Did he not release 200 million Ghana cedis to GES?
Today, there is no food in the senior high school.
Keep quiet. Please keep quiet. What you are doing, I can do same. So please accord me the same respect I accord you. He has released 200 million Ghana cedis to school to feed students, and it has been decentralized. The man is saying that in a matter of few months, on an emergency program, he will construct structures to avoid a double track, which these people have suffered for the last 8 years. Go and combine cement and chippings and sand to construct structures to avoid double track. You have used 8 years, you have not been able to do. But you are blaming a president who has only come to power for a month and has averted a major feeding problem in secondary schools. Look, the fact is clear that the NPP in 8 years was a complete waste of time. John Dramani Mahama has come. He is a tolerant leader, a respectful leader, a leader that listens to the views of other people. And he has made the point clear that all the suggestions that will be made by CSOs, by distinguished education experts, and what have you, will be put on the table. The government will analyze it. Some of us will always be willing to communicate for the government and tell the people of Ghana what we are doing. And that we will see far-reaching reforms in our education sector that has been dogged with massive problems that has completely undermined the reason why, people even go to school. You saw it. The evidence is clear. We need to put money where money is supposed to be put. And President Mahama has said he will create a fund for our secondary education. And he has done it. A man who has created ESLA, and he has set up so many funds to put money in for the people of Ghana. Will you doubt him when he tells you that he will create a fund to fund secondary education? And not secondary education, when you go to tertiary. The president has said that he will collaborate with private investors so that we can avert the difficulties we have as far as accommodation is concerned. I went to KN University before the election. There's a clear partnership between the university authorities and MasterCard. They are building structures in KN University to avoid the difficulties they face. The universities have the land, the private investors have the money. Why can't we come together and build this to make sure things are working?
Doug, so
the president the education minister also said that all first year students who paid for admission when they were entering tertiary, all the money should be refunded. So we are on course. They have been exposed as a complete waste of time of the people of Ghana. We are committed to put Ghana back on the path of the
Doug, before I move on, a quick one. Let me just get your opinion on this. So, a couple of weeks back, we saw students trying to cross the river to go to school. Now, the president made a very swift intervention with regards to that. With the video you're seeing right now, are we going to see the president make another intervention?
Of course, President John Dramani Mahama.
A couple of days.
President John Dramani Mahama is always up to speech about the difficulties we have. You see, Ghana has a huge problem. And until we are able to solve these issues, I will not come and sit on platforms like this and pretend as if we're the best thing that has ever happened to the people of Ghana. We have difficulties. And so these are the things that we should actually deliver on. Not wasteful things and self-aggrandizement and political grandstanding as if we are the best thing that has ever. The people are not always happy with us because of the difficulties we face. And we are always down to earth. We are willing to listen to the people of Ghana and avoid these issues. Until we are able to underwrite some of these difficulties, there will always be problems. The only way to solve this problem is to actually fix the problem. And we are committed to doing that. We are going to uncap Get Fund so that we can get enough money to release some of these bottlenecks that have been bedeviling our education sector.
Okay, well, let's try and tie this. No, I'm coming to you, but let's try and tie this one also in. GES revokes appointment of staff not yet on payroll. I'm sure you've heard about that as well. But for the benefit of our viewers out there, the Ghana Education Service, GES, has announced the immediate revocation of appointments and recruitments for teaching and non-teaching staff who have not been placed on the government payroll. Now, this move follows a directive from the Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, and it's effective immediately. In a statement signed by the Acting Director General of GES, Professor Kwesi Kofi Davis. It says that all regional, district, municipal, and metropolitan directors of education have been instructed to ensure compliance with the decision. Maybe you can tie this one also in so that we'll be able to finish with that combo as well.
On capitation grant, I quoted a parliamentary document. And you're telling me that some CSO sitting somewhere who were doing your bidding has written. Yes.
These are very significant people when it comes to
my brother.
Comfort.
My brother.
Comfort is sitting somewhere.
You can't just say they are just.
Comfort is sitting somewhere.
Wow. You know the rules here. So
the official document of this country. I'm quoting a budget
from Parliament.
From Parliament.
Exactly.
In July.
Yeah.
2024.
Okay.
And you are telling me that some people sat somewhere and did their review and felt that this is I will want you to tell me that no, this amount of money didn't go. Or what I'm quoting, I'm not quoting from the right source. That is one. Two is that you asked me, can you mention 3 hospitals that you built from scratch? I said we have constructed over 36. I'm giving you 10 right now. You tell me when you...
The argument was that the funding was made by them.
Yes.
The funding was made available by them.
You see, there are a lot of...
If I give you $100,000 right now, can't you go and build without even doing anything? The money is just there. So what are you talking about?
No, was that a case?
There was funding.
Right?
There was funding for some hospitals.
Oh God!
But these hospitals were not completed.
You have been exposed about.
You understand?
The ones you mentioned.
No, I'm saying that there were funding for hospitals in this country under Kufuor.
How you have been exposed? Yes.
Under Kufuor, there were hospitals, Eurojet projects, funding and everything was secured by Kufuor. NDC couldn't complete one. The one in Salaga. The one in Sashi, the one in Kumasi, that is the Sewa Hospital. That's the regional hospital. Then the military hospital. Funding was secured in 2007 by Kufuor. But the NDC couldn't complete it. So if you secured funding and we came to start from scratch and complete it, it's a credit to us. That is one. Two is that I am telling you, hospitals that we have started from scratch, that we secured the funding and started from scratch.
They were lies.
They were not lies.
But I told you that.
You said you cut short on the 1st of January 2017.
So credit the
Did you construct it? Did you construct it?
So you see, where the problem is now is that somebody secured the funding, somebody built it, but we are not able to actually give credit to anybody.
That's a single
dishonesty.
This has always been the
argument. Someone says you didn't build a single hospital.
That is intellectual dishonesty.
And I'm telling you that I made that because I wanted to tell you where President Mahama comes from. We went and constructed hospitals there. But you see, these are hospitals that we got the funding, constructed and finished, and now doctors are in. I'm mentioning
so
10.
Credit to both parties for that.
I'm mentioning 10, not the 3. Out of the
we need to stay off.
Let me mention so that you can get it. You can
mention and let's stay off that conversation and move on to the
relocation here. Just here. We've constructed one hospital there. Then Secretary Asanweso, Jumapo, Achiase, Adukrum, Kwabin, Nkwatia, Mem, Mansun Kwanta, Drobonsu, Sabronum, Chedie. I've mentioned how many? Swami. I have mentioned over 12.
These were all from the scratch?
From scratch. Now
funding
doctors
secured by the NPP?
Some funding secured by NPP, funding everything. And as I speak right now, they are operational. These hospitals are operational. The one in Pong Katamanso has been completed, beds fixed and everything. It's in Accra. That's why I'm mentioning the one here in
And there's also in Jumapo.
Exactly.
There's one I guess.
In Jumapo, Adukrum, Achiase, Swami, Drobonso, which is an NDC stronghold in Ashanti region. It has also been completed. And so all these hospitals were constructed under us.
Okay. All right, very well. Let's move on. Can we now talk about the revocation of appointment?
Yes. You see, I think it's unfortunate that someone who promised that one will come, those who scrap the what's the name? Those who scrapped the allowances in 2014, the teachers' allowance in 2014. Now it was reinstated in 2016, and they enjoyed it up to now. Whether there are challenges or bottlenecks, that's another case. But at least they enjoyed it. After enjoying all these, now they are home and they have been employed. Employment within the public service don't start within 1 month. Again, payment of salaries under Mahama, under Jane as the education minister, someone can work for 2 years and will be paid 3 months. Under them, we came in 2017 and paid all the arrears. They said they were doing some kind of validation before you paid. Nurses and teachers were paid at that time. So now the teachers have been posted and they got financial clearance. I told you in the public service before they do recruitment now, what they do is that they'll go for financial clearance, then they'll go for the technical clearance from Public Services Commission to do it. So it takes time for them to be rolled on. Then within 3 months, they will be paid. We instituted a 3 months pay when we came in 2017. Everyone in the public sector, if you are employed, within 3 months you'll be paid because the financial clearance and everything will be there. Now, when you check the teachers, these are teachers from colleges of education who were employed.
But not on payroll.
Yes, they are not on payroll because they will not be on payroll till about 2 to 3 months before they will be on payroll. So if they are employed within December, because you see, this one, they didn't say that they were employed in December, but they said by December, by January, they were not on payroll. So some were employed before December, some were in November and so on. But they are saying that because they are not on payroll in January, they are going, they have terminated their appointment. That's unfortunate. You see, I don't want to really be prejudicial because there is a case that has been filed by Nanabi in court yesterday, challenging what President Mahama had done, especially with the termination of appointments. Because you see, you will have to check whether there is financial clearance, whether they went through the right processes. I sitting here will not condone any Ghanaian who did not go through.
But then we report that some of them were
who did not go through
under very terrible circumstances.
You can point to those ones. You understand? You can point to those ones. But you see,
it shouldn't affect
teachers,
all of them.
Teachers have automatic, you see, if you mention institutions like maybe COCOBOD, like GMPC and others, the workers there, those who were employed, do not really have automatic employment. They will advertise, people will apply, and they will go through interviews and so on. But as for teachers, they have automatic posting. You understand? Just after school, because we've spent a lot on them, just after school, they write their licensure. After licensure, they will be able to really, the government will put them on after getting financial clearance. So government got financial clearance, put them there. Even if you remove them today, tomorrow you still employ the same people. The same people. The only thing is that if there are challenges with how they were recruited, you fix it. You don't tell them to go and sit at home. Now, listen, someone is in Ashanti region. He has been posted to go and work in the northern region. The person went there, rented a room, did everything, has started work for more than 1 month or close to 2 months. Because he's not on the payroll, you're saying that that person should leave that post and come home so that later when you come and open, the person will apply. It's even illogical, especially teachers and nurses. You understand? The rest, the person is here. GMPC, they have appointed, they've really recruited the person. The person don't have automatic posting. So definitely, that person, if you tell him to go and sit at home and so on, you may not even hire the same person. But for the teachers, they are hired in batches. The nurses are hired in batches. Those whose appointment were terminated, the nurses whose appointment were terminated, were the 2020 batch, who has automatic postings. So that is the reason the nurses and the NRA people are saying that these are people who got their clearance in July 2024. And they started the process and were able to get the appointment around those days. They are in the wards working as I speak. So you are telling them that you have terminated the appointment. They should just leave the post and come so that later you appoint them. Will they go back to where they have rented the room?
Doug, where are we headed with this?
There are so many. Give me just 30 seconds to respond to some of the things I said before. Please, MIM Hospital. MIM Hospital is actually not a hospital. It is a polyclinic with 2 rooms. They are
Polyclinic.
Please. With only 2 rooms.
Did we construct it?
Please. Oh, our 2 rooms. There are no doctors there. So how can you come and say this is a hospital? Please. So our.
Doc.
I can give you pictures right now.
Give me the pictures. But you see, let us continue the debate. Agenda 111. In fact, they actually went.
These are not Agenda 111 projects. The ones I mentioned are not Agenda.
Let him. Doc, go.
In fact, I'm happy that they actually said Agenda 111. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So they actually did only 3. They completed only 3 hospitals.
These pictures.
Agenda 111.
Just scroll.
They were all lies. But to the matter of revocation of the employment. Let me talk. Why?
No, but am I talking?
Go ahead.
So the point is that
you want me to be looking at your face.
Allow him.
Why are you shouting?
No, he wants me to be looking at your face.
Why are you shouting?
Doc, go ahead.
The point is clear.
Yeah.
You've said
the NDC government.
No, I'll come back to that.
The NDC government will never take any action to harm any Ghanaian, to cause pain to any Ghanaian. You recall that before this directive came, the Chief of Staff actually wrote letters to the various institutions to provide him with a list of persons that were employed whose processes actually started after December 7th. What the NPP was doing was that when they lost the election, they immediately went and picked some people and purported to have employed them without going through the necessary processes. I know people who were employed to sensitive state institutions and never did mandatory medical screening. Some of them did not even write application letters. Some of them did not even go for any interviews. They just called them and gave them appointment letters and backdated the appointment letters. So the person was appointed after 7 December, 8 or 10 December. But the appointment letter given him or her was in July 2024. So the person will take salary from July, August, September, when the person had not even started the work. And so serious forensic audits were done to arrive at this. The Chief of Staff didn't just get up and do it. We did forensic audits, and I saw it. Please keep quiet. And I arrived at this conclusion. But in any event, they have the opportunity to reapply. Government will consider everything and apply and employ them again. There's no problem with that.
So the challenge will be that those who moved from where they live to a different place and have rented rooms, just like the example he made.
I'm saying that they have the opportunity to always reapply. The NDC government is willing. We said Ghana is open for business again. We are open for employment. We are willing to employ them again when they go through the necessary processes. But he who comes with equity must come with clear hands. Are they not the ones that sacked 13,000 people when they came into power in 2017? NPP. Are they the ones saying this?
Should we also repeat it?
Because the information we have is that no. The point is that the information we have is that these people who have been asked to reapply again, they are about 1,000. Meanwhile, your people, please. But your people sacked 13,000.
That's for the teachers.
For the teachers, they are about how many? They are about, I think they are about, what I heard, they are about
5,000.
But you sacked 13,000 people. 13,000.
From which institution?
Please. 13,000 and 5,000. Which one is bigger? I'm not here to justify, but the point is that these people have the opportunity to reapply, and we are willing to go through the processes with them and get them on board again as the people of Ghana. But you never gave them an opportunity, 13,000 people, you never gave them an opportunity to reapply and get themselves onto the government payroll again. And so the difference is clear. It was done without malice. It was done without prejudice, just to protect and maintain that the right thing is done for public sector employment. And there is no problem with that. How is it that you come into power? Let's say you employ 2,000 people in all your 8 years. For example, you employ 2,000 people in all your 8 years, but immediately you lose an election, you want to employ 8,000 people. When the transition processes were going on, we drew the attention that we see some overwhelming employment being made. We see some gargantuan payments being made to institutions that cannot even show work done. They pay 243 million Ghana cedis to a company for collecting revenue for ECG. When there was no evidence of work done, we cautioned them, we told them that we are not coming to power. The country is in serious economic difficulties. Why don't we all sit down, Jojo, and know which ones we need to pay first and which ones we need to pay later? But they went on and made these payments at the cost of the public purse. They went on and did all this employment in flagrant disregard of the processes of employing people. And so we are willing to allow these people to go through the processes and come on board again. But the NPP must not purport to care about the people more than the NDC does, because they laid off 13,000 people, including people who were actually working 2-3 years before. My friend, Yara Kuku, who is currently the NIA boss, was sacked like a chicken from NIA under the NPP. Meanwhile, the person had been working for about 3 years prior. What about that? Awal, do you have the moral right? Moral right
behavior.
Please.
Unethical behavior. He was the only person who was sacked there.
Please. Okay, please. So the point is clear.
Learn from me and let me do this.
Yes. So fundamentally, the people have the opportunity to come on board again. Most of them, especially what we saw, did not even do major. Step. They did not go through the clearly legally accepted processes to get employed. The NPP cut corners and push some of their people there to just make government, payroll bigger to create problems for the government. That's
okay. Let me go on the phone line, and very soon I'll try and read some of your messages as well. I have Benjamin Kofi. He's a teacher on the line. Benjamin, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. Doing well by God's grace and you.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Okay, I lost you a bit, but I think it's okay now. Tell us, what's the situation now?
In fact, the situation is very disheartening for we newly posted teachers across the country with respect to payment of salaries and unreleased staff IDs for some of us. You see, we started working in the month of September, and in the month of December, validation came and we were supposed to be paid for 4 months, which is from September to December. But to our utmost surprise, we were validated by our head teachers, and the money never reflected in our account. From September to December salary, it never reflected in our account, and we were just wondering why it happened like that. And in the month of January too, it ended with another validation, and surprisingly, the arrears which should have been added up to the monthly, the previous salary wasn't seen on our various TVs. So it was just 1 month arrears that was paid together with January salary, making it 2 months. Meanwhile, we should have been paid for 5 months with January salary included. But here lies the case that it was only 2 months salary that was given to us, and there are a lot of inconsistencies with respect to the payments of this salary. Some of my friends and colleagues at other places were validated and no money was reflected in their account. Others were validated and no money was showing on their various TVs, which is very disheartening, and it's really disturbing most of the newly posted teachers across the country. It's really causing a lot of pain and a whole lot of issues happening to us.
What reason did they give for that situation? Is this something that you've inquired, and what did they say?
We've not been quiet about it. We've tried reaching out to some of our IPPDs in our various districts and municipals, but it seems like it's irritating them that we are always. I'm using some because not all of them. Some of them see it as irritating, always knocking at their door with the same issue. I personally believe that something is wrong somewhere, and that needs to be rectified so that all our arrears to be paid to us.
Well, which level are you teaching?
I'm in the junior high school now.
The senior high school?
Junior high school.
Junior high school.
Yes, please.
Okay, and you were employed in September 2024?
Yes, please, September 2024.
So how many of you are going through this?
A lot, a lot. And you see, some of my colleagues were fortunate to receive all their salary in full.
Okay.
From September to December, some of them were fortunate to receive it in full, excluding other people who haven't yet even gotten their staff IDs, not alone to talk of getting paid.
Wow. So right now, those who have not received their monies, what do you guys intend to do? Apart from the fact that you have reported and you've still not received any reason for this?
You see, just as we say that you can't blow the trumpet on an empty stomach, you see, I think most of us have decided to vacate from our posts and also to stay at home, because we can't come to the classroom and teach on an empty stomach. Some of us need to take staff from and travel a long distance before we get to school. So since we are not being paid, some of us have decided to stay at home and also find another thing that we can do to fetch us some money to cater for ourselves. Because some are still being, some have still become burden for their parents. So they are working, but they have still become a burden to their parents and some few friends around, which is very disheartening. Some of us are even turned out to be liars, and I mean, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot thing.
Very well. Benjamin, thank you for spending time with us this morning, and we're going to take this camp and then we'll see what we can do, okay?
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. That's Benjamin Kofi. He's a teacher.
Usually what happens is that after they are employed, they will work for some time. Then their staff ID will come. That will inform how controller will pay them.
They don't have that yet.
Yes, some have.
Yeah,
that's
but not
why
all
he
of
said
them.
not all of them. Now the chief of staff is saying that if you're not on the payroll in January, your appointment should be terminated. How is this possible? That's why I'm telling you that. I don't want to be
people like him do not have a problem with this.
No.
He wasn't.
His colleagues, he told you that his colleagues, some have not even received their staff ID to be paid. You need staff ID to get before controller can pay you. Some can stay on for 6 months. These are things that GES will have to really work it out. How do you employ 5,000 people? At the end of the day, you have 2,000 or 3,000 people being paid. Some will even get 3 months or 4 months. Some don't even have their staff ID. Some go as far, I know someone in last year, for instance, someone who went as far as like 1 year, over a year, a group, a cohort. They went for more than a year before they got their staff ID and were paid around March.
But why the delay on the staff ID?
That is the problem that you have to one day invite the GES for them to come and explain. That how
because once the person gets the employment, the next thing is
you
what
do the validation
or what makes him a teacher.
What they do is that you start the work first. They will go and come, the IPPD officials will go to your village and do the validation and find out that indeed in the last 3 months you were there working. Then they will do the validation. That's what he told you. After the validation, then you will get your staff IDs. Then that will inform, they will write to controller so that controller will start paying you with the arrears. You understand? Now, some will get it. These are challenges with he will tell. That's why he told you that some have gotten, some have not, some have even paid for 2 months, and they have 2 months arrears and so on. I wish one day you invite the GES, the guys at GES, not necessarily the politicians, the guys at GES to come and explain to you how this is really possible. That someone will start work. He will start work with me. We completed school, same colleges. After that, the person will be on, start work for 3-4 months. Then his colleagues will get their staff ID. The others will not get their staff ID. Later, the person will be fighting. That is how corruption, it breeds corruption, because people have to go around, get someone to get them their staff ID before they are paid. And that's wrong. So I think this should be addressed. However, if Julius Debra is telling his colleagues who are not on the payroll as of January that the appointment should be terminated, and my brother says that they did forensic audit to know that that person is not at post, then you don't know the workings of GES. That's why I told you, I am specific about it. I said GES and Ghana Health Service. These are people who are posted in cohorts. You understand? For instance, the 15,000 for Ghana Health Service, they had the 2020 batch and those who went and did the reset. He's a medical doctor. He understands what I'm talking about. My wife is a nurse, so I also have gone through this, so I know these things. So these are the 2020 batch. If they open the portal for you to apply, if you are in 2021, you cannot break through because they open the portal with their own index numbers. So these are a cohort. That's the reason the president of the Ghana Nurses and Midwife Association is saying that no, you can't do that because they got their thing in July. So if they are not on payroll as at January, it doesn't mean that the person is not at post. Go and do the check-ins and find out if they are really at the place. Then you do it. So I was wishing that they exempt these two essential services, that is the GES and the Ghana Health Service. The others, if you say you want to go back and do these things, because mind you, you can do this and at the end, the person will go to court and win. In 2009, when NDC won power, they sacked Dr. Nsiansari from Konfanoche Teaching Hospital. 2 years on, he went to court and had over 400,000 cedis in compensation. He won a judgment debt. So those you are sacking in corporate institutions like the GMPC and others, they can go to court. For instance, they are talking about we sacking 13,000 people. When you ask them, where are the numbers? They will be quoting some 8,000 nurses and so on. When we came, the 8,000 nurses, that 8,600 nurses, they were in the process of appointing them. Then we said, suspend. We asked them to suspend. When we came, we absolved them and paid them.
And they also believe that the others that you also employed, you backdated the
I'm coming. So these are things that they have to prove. You understand? That is one. Two is that when you go to YEA, for instance, when you check out of the 13,000, they will say YEA 216 people were sacked. In YEA, we did not sack a single person. You know, if Walanyo, the MP for Hohoi, was paid for December. He was still a staff of YEA until his election as MP. You know, computer, Rashid Tanko Computer, Deputy Director. He was paid for January. I don't know if he has resigned right now after his appointment. These are staff of YEA. We met them and we didn't sack them.
These two institutions are also very essential people.
Yes.
If they feel that they do not qualify to be there, imagine it.
They never said that they didn't qualify. They said those who are not on the payroll as of January. They did not talk about qualification.
Yeah, but it's under the circumstances that they were put on.
You see, when you want to visit the sins, you were mentioning that there are some institutions that you know. According to him, there are institutions that he knew that people were employed and backdated. But the teachers, it's an open secret. Everyone knew when they were appointed. The nurses, everyone knew.
Okay.
He's a medical doctor. He understands these things.
Please ask Awal whether he has been sacked from YEA.
No, I've not been sacked.
So you are.
But why will you sack
You are on TV. You are on TV. You are at YEA. You have not been sacked.
Yes.
You are
as deputy director for this time of year.
You are a politician at YEA.
Yes.
You have not been sacked. Openly, you are a politician. You have not been sacked.
Yes.
What makes you think the NDC government is willing to sack innocent Ghanaians genuinely? No. There were serious difficulties. The NPP used very Machiavellian tactics and very bad means of recruiting people without going through the processes. The government of the NDC has said that the people whose appointment have been revoked have the opportunity to reapply. Government is willing to employ them and work.
When are you opening?
It's as simple as that.
So you just have to go through that.
It's as simple as that. Oh, Awal. So it's just a process. They will come, they will go through the processes, and they will be employed. It's not like the NPP that came and sacked 30,000.
We didn't sack 30,000.
The evidence is clear. There's no doubt about it.
NSS, they went to court and lost.
Please.
NSS, 512 people. They went to court and lost. Because the appointment...
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair.
You're not helping the conversation.
I don't think it's fair.
No,
I don't think it's fair.
Go ahead.
So you must be honest with the conversation. You do not have the moral right to criticize the NDC regime, which has said that the said people will have the opportunity to reapply, and government is willing to absorb it. When you sacked 13,000 people, did you give them the opportunity?
Who didn't sack 13,000?
Yahya Kuku, who is current NIA boss, was sacked and barred from coming to the premises of NIA when your party came into power. And you are the ones criticizing the government. Please.
So you've already stated that.
Yes, you have made your point. Let me make my point.
Allow him to also make.
Let me make my point. And so the point is clear that they do not have the moral right to criticize a regime that is doing this. We are willing. I mean, President has said that Ghana is always open for business. Ghana is always open for work. Why would we be the ones to engage this when we are coming to implement 24-hour economy and a host of these policies? You understand the point I'm making? So please, it is clear that the NPP, they don't know what they are doing. They are in a haste to criticize the NDC regime, and they have failed at that. The government is willing to cooperate with the people of Ghana so that the right things will be done, and things done the better way.
So there will be a communication as to when they can reapply and all that. Okay. Just so those who are watching now will be able to understand where we're moving with that decision. Now, this one says, good morning, KMJ. Our education system is somehow corrupt because we wrote WASE. Our results were held and now it's been cancelled. Number of my mates are turning into scammers and galamseyers. What a country. People who were eager to go to school are disappointed.
But you know, the government was...
Yeah, the 180.
That was why most of them, their results were not released.
Yeah.
The government, how can you owe WAEC?
How can you interview here?
How can you owe WAEC? You're a government...
No. He's talking about... It's not about the one that we spoke about.
He said that is the reason...
That's what he said. Listen to what he's saying.
This is not what we spoke about the other time.
Wow, you are talking
now, good morning, KMJ. Please, it must be on records that the free SHS school started with many schools going into the double track, but currently most schools are no more on double tracks because of the increase in infrastructure at the schools. Savlugu SHS was under double track, but it's currently the school with the highest enrollment in the northern region, but it's not more. It's no more under double track. There are several of such schools across the country. Why should someone who promises 24-hour economy be sacking workers? Where is the one job, 3 shifts? The NDC should stop those verifications. They employed the former Auditor General after December 7, 2016. The NPP never sacked any 13,000 workers. The 13,000 was in respect of numbers of nurses, if the NDC man cares to know. Yeah. All those people were brought back as they were on suspension, and not even a single one was sacked.
That's true.
Thanks. Okay.
We discussed the finance minister.
Meshach says that, in fact, the resetting agenda is really happening in Ghana now. A very good move by President Mahama to declare his assets to the state. It clearly shows how dedicated he is to serve the country with no intention to steal the country like what the previous NPP government did. Okay. I've read this one. Let me go to this one. It says the main reason for sacking these innocent Ghanaian youth is because of financial constraints, according to NDC. And Honorable Mohammed Abdul Aziz, a former MP and NDC communications team member, confirmed that on your sister TV station that re-employment is what re-employment is talking about. Where would they now get the money? Master Planner Junior in Kintampo sent in that. Let me go to Sammy Ayeh. It says the NDC appears to be operating as if they are still in opposition as it pertains to the future of education in Ghana. The NPP government led by President Akufo-Addo has implemented remarkable initiatives. We look forward to hearing Mohammed's plans for the free SHS program, which the NDC had previously planned to abolish. It is worth noting that students are no longer required to pay examination fees, PTA dues, or light bills. The government's actions demonstrate their commitment. The revocation of teachers' appointment has been met with empty votes. Good morning to Honorable Protosia. Okay, let me go to the next one over here. This one. It says, please, I want to tell Awal that all he's peddling is falsehood. Even with the PA we are paying the dues just before December 2024, I paid for my kid sister's PA dues which was worth 300 Ghana cedis per term. So please, Awal should not mislead the discerning Ghanaians. In fact, if the fund that was available to NPP government for the past 8 years is really what they wanted, if really they wanted to make Ghana a better place, like they have done it, they would have done it. Okay, so please, they can continue to be to bleed and allow the Congress Party and the People's Ghanaian President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to correct their planned wickedness to plunge Ghana to poverty. We won't sit and allow NPP and their communicators to frustrate our president and his appointees. We gave them 8 years, nothing to show. However, my advice to them is that they should go back to the drawing table to identify why they lost decisively and correct their mistakes rather than attacking a government who is poised to correct their mess. And this Babaji Bro, Guan constituency, sent in that. This one says, good morning, His Excellency JDM in business, 30 to 23 ministers. Hey, what a serious president. Okay. It says, good morning, Mr. Host. We Ghanaians youth will not support the hypocrisy of the NPP. Also sent in that. Let me go to this one. It says, good morning, Mr. Host. If there are more other words than fugitive to describe Ken, I think he deserves that, because this is the man who, together with the family, have stolen the public purse to enrich themselves. In fact, he needs to show up early before. Okay, well, he's no more a wanted man. So hopefully we'll be able to have him back to meet the OSP. Good morning, Joy Prime. NDC members must just boycott and any show with these baby serpents because they are very disruptive wherever they go, even in Parliament. Why do you debate with scammers or I keep saying that you guys have to try as much as possible to be very, 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 I'm choosing my words carefully so I don't end up offending any of you. But I think it's okay that we all, exercise some sort of decorum here when we are addressing our guests on the show. All the insults and those things will not really do anything. So just make your points and let's move on, okay? Mr. Host, tell Awal to... No, I'm not going to read that. This one says, good morning, KMJ. Can you please tell Awal to respect the listeners? These tactics will not wash. Okay, that one... Awal, it's okay, right? Okay. That's it from Jumako says, good morning, KMJ. My first time agreeing with Awal. Let's build the nation together. Okay. Let me go to this one over here. Akosi Gariba from Tamale says, good morning, KMJ, to my brother, Awal Mohammed. Didn't Mr. Muhammad know that the challenges of the educational sector in Ghana after having been president of Ghana before? Some of the promises Mr. Muhammad made to change education in Ghana are give teachers from the deprived areas 20 Ghana citizens their basic salary, cancel double-track education, build classrooms across all the 16 regions in Ghana, provide affordable hire purchase vehicles for teachers. Teachers are expecting President Muhammad to fulfill all the promises he made to change the educational sector for better. My regards to Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam. All right, let me go to this one over here. And it's a teacher Kojo Tapagina Suso says, what assets did President Muhammad declare? They should be made public so that the masses can know what he declared, and any hidden ones can be exposed. However, handing this envelope to the auditor and accountant general is no news. If he declares his assets in a sealed envelope, how can I be expected to believe that he is telling us the truth? Therefore, Muhammad should come forward again. Otherwise, I in particular cannot trust him. Greetings to Chairman. I don't know. Maybe I'll do the last one. It says, Mr. Host, this NPP man has started his laughing. He's not supposed to be on this platform. They send him to opposition. He's not serious at all. He must. Okay. Awal loves to laugh. You don't want to stop him from laughing. Take it.
We discussed the Kenoforiata issue.
No, our time is up. Unfortunately, we can do that. But let's do 2 minutes. If you can do 2 minutes.
Oh yes, I think that's
a bit much.
For me, I think that the people of Ghana deserve some answers from Kenoforiata. It doesn't make sense that $58 million will go into National Cathedral. People are asking, how can you use $58 million to dig a hole? It does not make sense that a company like SML, who themselves claim that the work government is telling them to do, they don't have the sophistication to do. They themselves say that they are just sitting there as lame ducks or white elephants, basically just receiving money without doing any work, as confirmed by GRA. It doesn't make sense that $130 million will be given to them. Ghanaians are asking questions. And politicians like some of us, and Awal, and other politicians who have been in power or are currently in government must not shy away from accountability. It is the only way. They say sunlight is the biggest disinfectant when you open up, so that the people of Ghana will know what you are doing. It will engender confidence in the people. So Ken Oforiatta, who has been a finance minister, who supervised the domestic debt exchange program, he supervised the expropriation of people's wealth through that draconian domestic debt exchange program. He must answer questions. There are so many deals and agreements that he did that have hurt the people of Ghana. So he must come clean. He must not run away from scrutiny. And I'm happy that he has written a letter to the OSP that he will come back on that scheduled date so that some answers can be given. And people of Ghana will be sure that the opportunity they gave him, he actually answered, in the right way. For me, it is a step in the right direction. But I'm hoping that this will not end up the way he has always been ending up. We give a day that he will come and he will not show up. And I will encourage the special prosecutor. The work he was doing when the NDC was in opposition and NPP was in power is the same work he will do now that the NDC is in power. We are hoping and we are happy to work with him.
And the NDC will
give him all the support
to do the work.
Yes, of course.
Okay, very well. Awal.
Yes, I think it's a legitimate call that if you were in charge of the exchequer, you are supposed to come and render accounts to the people of this country. Why not? So he even aware that he will come and answer these questions. That was the reason he was not a government official as of January 2020, this January 2025. But he wrote to the chief of staff before leaving the country. On the 20th of the same January, he wrote back to the chief of staff, the current chief of staff, telling him his location, where he is, and if there is the need for them to contact him on the things that he had done in government, they can contact him. So this is not someone who is running away from explaining himself to the people of this country. The only thing is that we believe that every suspect should be treated with some courtesies, because you will do all these things. And if the person is exonerated by court, what have you done? You've cost him a lot. You remember, I keep on citing this example. You remember when Asabi and his wife Zuleika, they were leaving this country to the US. They were arrested at the airport in a Rambo style. They were brought back and they were prevented from traveling. They went to court. By 2014, they won the case. You understand? So no one is guilty until proven guilty by a court. So when the special prosecutor started calling him fugitive, and so when there is correspondence between you and him,
he was evading questions.
You understand? When there is a correspondence between you and him, that I am here, these are the things that I am doing. The doctors wrote to the special prosecutor that indeed he is with us and we're going through some checks and so on, that possibly we may even do some surgery on him in March and so on. You should just go and verify. There's nothing wrong with going there to verify and check whether indeed he is there, and what you need from him, you can do it. The lawyers are even saying that you could even do everything and even charge him. When you charge him, then you subpoena him to come and appear before court. But this one, he's just assisting you in your investigation. He can come and choose not to even talk. And there's nothing you can do.
There's no problem with that.
You understand? He can come. You want his presence. He can still come without uttering a word. You will have to prove your case and send him to court. In court, he will be forced to talk there. But at the preliminaries, he can choose not to talk. So the only thing is that I believe that he's a suspect who should be treated with some kind of dignity, so that at least tomorrow, if he's guilty, he faces the music. If he's not guilty, he goes scot-free.
Okay, all right.
It's simple. Anyone evading questions after investigation is being done and running away is a fugitive.
He has not run away.
Please, I'm happy.
Someone who wrote
the OSP said that he was evading question. The OSP is in his right to make that claim. Again, Awal is saying that a person is not guilty until proven guilty. Ken Oforiatta collapsed the bank of Mr. Seydou Agongo because Mr. Seydou Agongo had the case in court.
No problem.
He had not been pronounced guilty, but his bank was collapsed.
You are in government.
So these are some of the questions Ken Oforiatta needs to come and answer.
As part of the 26...
You collapse a person's bank because
as part of the 26
he has a case in court. Today he has no case, but his bank has been collapsed. What about the thousands of people who have lost their jobs because you collapsed his bank? An indigenous man who was working genuinely created a bank and you collapse the bank because he has a case in court. These are the questions Ken Ofori-Atta needs.
So the 26 promises by President Mahama is part of it that he will reinstate all the licenses of these banks. Is there?
Of course.
Yes. So no problem. So you are in government. Don't do propaganda. That's what I'm saying.
But I mentioned to you that President Mahama has done 7 out of 20. If you give me the opportunity, I can read the 7 out to you.
Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have much time, but I'm grateful for your time. I'm grateful for your time this morning.
Ghanaian don't have impact about National Education Forum.
What is the impact?
Hey, there's no impact.
It has not started. They are doing it now. No, you see, the thing is that
what have you implemented?
What have you implemented?
You are on a very big platform. Mind your words.
What have you implemented? What is the result?
You are saying Ghanaians are not feeling the impact.
No, I'm saying that. What is the result now?
What
is the result?
Do you know the suggestions that have been made?
It has not been done. They have not concluded.
Humble yourself. Humble yourself and follow.
Then there will be an implementation. Then Ghanaians will benefit.
Listen.
Setting up a committee is nothing. You set up a committee.
President Mahama has commissioned investigations
without a committee. How do you get to do the assessment?
No, President Mahama. We were not promised a committee. We were promised that we would come and implement free academic facilities.
President Mahama has commissioned investigations not unresolved. You think that the family of Ahmed Swale are not happy that
a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise. Please make sure you go to Franco Trading Enterprise and grab your phones from there, your TV sets from there, your CCTV cameras, your refrigerators from there as well. We're grateful to them. You can also call them, the numbers on the screens, and also download the app. It's Google Play Store. It's Franco Trading app. Our website is www.francotrading.com, and you can get all your gadgets from there. It's if it's gadgets, it has to be Franco Trading Enterprise. Dr. Sammy Ayeh, thank you so much for coming through this morning. And of course, Awal Mohammed, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate you both.